Okay, and so one more issue is the Confucius Institutes.
Yes.
The Confucius Institutes are on many of our colleges. They're funded directly by the PLA.
Yeah.
Why do our colleges allow Confucius Institutes?
It would be like in China having something funded by the CIA that was directly,
or the Catholic Church,
or the Catholic Church. Well, not the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church has cut a deal that lets China.
I know.
No, but this is a huge issue. Pope Francis just cut a deal that lets the atheists that run the regime in Beijing actually pick our bishops. So the Catholic Church would not be a good idea since they've already kowtowed. It would be equivalent of having CIA or DNI have a student center that promoted CIA culture, right, to in China.
Yeah.
Okay, that ain't happening.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what's not happening? Because the Chinese say, hey, that's kind of
that's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen because that may affect our sovereignty.
Well, so give me a practical.
You got to unwind them.
How?
I think you just sit there and you got to shut them down.
Okay.
Right. I don't think there's any way.
Under what law?
I think. Hang on. This whole thing about people are saying, oh well, they're not that bad. They're pushing culture and they're helping students learn Mandarin. Hey, they're financed by the PLA.
They have server rooms in the Confucius Institutes. What the F's going on?
All this is going to be a shock to the American people. Here's why the American people don't know this, because nobody reports it. Has 60 Minutes ever gone and done a Confucius Institute?
They should.
Yeah, but they should have done it 20 years ago.
Yeah.
The reason this is coming up is there are people now fed up with this, and that's why in this Trump movement, it was Donald Trump, and when he came to the government that changed it, that now other people and other voices are coming up, and you're seeing a real pushback. But to allow this to happen at our universities, let's be brutally frank, why is it always Hudson Institute that's having Miles Kwok, or last night Mike Pence, Dr. Pillsbury's there? Why is it always Hudson Institute? Why is it not the other institutes having these kind of
well, because
conferences?
China has paid many of them.
The last thing that maybe I'll close on is when Li He, the economic strategist for President Xi, and I've had the opportunity to know him and build a little bit of a relationship. He's a very brilliant guy. When he came to do the major negotiation that didn't work out, I think it was in June of this past year, he came. And the very first day, he didn't go to the White House at first. He didn't go to Treasury at first. He shows up, and the very first day he spent on Capitol Hill with the quote-unquote free traders in the Republican Party. Remember, President Trump's, the greatest blowback he got on this was the Republicans.
Yeah.
It was the Republicans that went crazy. Oh, you got to do free trade. You got to do free trade. All the nomenclature that we've been using in regards to China has always been dismissed as, oh, that's just China. Okay? And so all the nomenclature has just been happy talk. And the words don't really mean what they are. And it's people like yourself, it's people like Miles Kwok, it's people like Dr. Pillsbury that are now starting to question this. And I think you see this whole thing that from quote-unquote engagement to conference, what they're pitting us on now, the new thing is that engagement versus confrontation. And we're being painted as the war party, right? We're the crazy guys who want to go to war. No. What we want to stop is an economic war that's been against the United States. And if you look at the group that's in the engagement process, all they've been in is being tapped along by China in these strategic economic dialogues that didn't go anywhere for 25 or 30 years and put us into the place where we were deindustrialized by a predatory power. And China's predatory capitalism is what they stand on. And so I think I couldn't be prouder that President Trump, and I think that speech, for people who have not seen that speech is going to go down in history as an inflection point, because Mike Pence yesterday, the Vice President of the United States, essentially threw down and said, hey, no more games. Yeah. We understand what you're doing. We understand what you're up to. We understand you have you have a full force of government against us, and we're going to counter that, and we're going to win.
I appreciate that. And, this goes back to when you pull into the Commerce Department, right above the entryway where you drive through, I don't know if you've seen this, there's a quote from Benjamin Franklin. It says, commerce must be fair and equitable. And I think that's where we need to be. I don't think we should be overly punitive. No. I don't think we should be combative. I think we should say we just need a fair shake at things. Right. And what you're saying is we haven't had one, and that's something we believe too. And the good news is I think in the last 6 months to a year, culminating with Pence's speech a couple of days, or actually a day ago, is finally the narrative's changing, despite all of the efforts from from those in China. So thanks for being here today. Thanks for
for
sharing
having
this
me.
with
was
us.
great.
It was really nice.
Undisclosed location.
Undisclosed location. I mean, we're here with Miles,
You
so
got to be undisclosed.
you know, we got to keep.
Except he's live streaming it constantly. So that's
I don't know who's more controversial, you or Miles, but we'll see soon.
Miles is a whole different league. I'm junior varsity compared to that.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.